Looks like it's a go. Oh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Maker Mastermind Show. I'm so excited that you're here. And let me just tell you what I need to do. I need to turn off my audio. Don't forget to turn off your audio when you start a video, okay? Because everyone will hear you twice. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Maker Mastermind Show. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm sorry that we're a little bit late. We have a good reason for that, though, because Facebook cut off our video because it said that we might be streaming to Canada. And I thought that would be okay with me, but Facebook cut it off. And actually, I'm going to post the screenshot of what Facebook sent me, just so you can see, because I'm hoping that all of you makers out there are at some point considering doing Facebook Lives. And one of the things that will happen is what happened to me. And that is, things happen. Things come up that shouldn't come up, and Facebook will surprise you. As we all know, they've dumped surprises on us one after another for a decade now, and it's not going to stop. So I will share that with you so you guys can see what could happen, and maybe you can make a recovery faster than me. But anyway, I'm so excited that you're here. I'm going to introduce you to this show really quickly, but I'm also going to introduce you, first of all, to my co-host. Her name is Christine Laureano, and she is the founder at Basics Botanicals and also Basics Marketing. Hi, Christine.
Hey, Donna Maria. So psyched to be here for our first live show.
Yes. And we also have our special guest. That is Adora Winquist at Adoratherapy in Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome, Adora.
Hello, lovely ladies.
Hey, Adora.
So thrilled to be here.
Okay, you guys, this is going to be so exciting. And plus, we have prizes. I have some products from Adora, and we're going to be giving those away a little bit later on. But the first thing I want you to know is, because this is our first show, you need to know why I'm doing this show, right? I'm the founder and CEO of the Indie Business Network, just in case you don't know who I am. It's a trade organization for makers and handmade entrepreneurs. And one of the things that I love to do is teach people how to be successful in their businesses, but also have a good time. And you guys, just like me, we're all under a tremendous amount of stress, right? Christine, Adora, everyone can nod. A lot of stress, like all day during the week. A lot of the times during the weekend, we are as well, because stuff happens and it doesn't, your business doesn't go, I think I'm not going to screw up because it's Sunday. It just can happen, right? So you have to sometimes always have that with you. And so I wanted to do something that would be educational and informative, but also like low stress and a lot of fun. And the Maker Mastermind Show came to me. Now, I do host an event live in different cities around the country. The MakerMastermindLive.com website is where you can go to register for that. But for now, I thought, why not have this be some sort of way for people to connect virtually, so we could learn and share, like, in our tennis shoes and yoga pants and stuff like that. And then we could get together live and work together to put all this stuff together. So we are here to help you build a solid business, have a good time. And what we really want to help you do is become comfortable and confident with the sales process, right? Because that's what business boils down to at the end of the day, financially anyway. You want to have a good time, but you also want to produce sales. So we're going to be talking about strategies and tactics to help you do that. So that's why we're here, and I'm so happy that you're here, and I just want to welcome you. We're going to go about 30 minutes today, no longer than that, and we're going to dive in with our guest, Adora. So welcome, Adora Winquist, and you have to be able to say that really fast, correctly. Winquist. Three times fast, and you can win a prize. But Adora is the founder, as I said, of Adoratherapy.com. It's a lifestyle boutique aromatherapy brand, which is awesome. Like I said, I've got some of their products here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. But Adora, I know you started your business like so many of us started our business. You started off knowing how to make stuff. So here's the money question, Adora. When did you decide to stop making stuff and start making money? Tell us the story.
Well, that's a really great question. Thanks, Donna Maria and Christine. It's such a pleasure to be here, especially at the launch of this fantastic program. For me, my entryway into this arena was a little bit different because I didn't come with a business background. I came with a background as an aromatherapist and as an energy healer.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I think this is a really important question that as entrepreneurs that we really have to ask ourselves is, what is our gift and what do we want to bring to the world and why do we want to do that? Before we even can ask, how do we want to do it and how do we want to sell it? So I think that that's a primary area. And for me, when I started this, it was really many different iterations of Adoratherapy back in the late 90s and 98. When I started formulating even some of our core products today, it was really designed to create a product that had the highest quality raw materials, predominantly organics, that was intentionally or energetically infused to offer people the ability to transform, right? So transformation at your fingertips by being able to modulate the stress response, right? And be able to shift our mood in the moment. And so, I'd love to say that right out of the gate, I said to myself, I want to go out there and make a product and make a ton of money. But that for me, it's been a very varied journey. And so for many years, as I started in kind of a cottage type of business as a hobby. And it wasn't until many years until, in fact, when my first daughter was born in 2009. And I said, I've had this hobby. I was a single mom at that time and really didn't know how I was going to make two ends meet. And I said, you know what, it's about time to take this business that had been a dream of mine for so long and start actually getting it to the mainstream public and start making money at it. Although, of course, best laid plans that even then, when I first started in 2009 to sell to Whole Foods Market in the Northeast region, again, the process, the unfoldment, the journey has taken, let's say, a little bit longer than I had anticipated.
Well, thank you for sharing that right off the bat, because today is very different from starting a business, even when you did almost 18 or 19 years ago. And it wasn't really a business then, I get that, but that's when you started making stuff. And so you described a journey that took, 8 or 9 years. And obviously we all have personal lives too, and you have babies. So everything just doesn't start clicking, especially for us as women, right? We have to kind of go with the flow of our lives. And then when we get to the point where we really want to be in business, something has to click in your mindset, right, Adora?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's when you start to look at, in the beginning for me, selling was very interesting, right? Because I was making a product, I was blending essential oils, I was infusing it energetically. And selling for me was very challenging in the beginning because I almost felt like, as I can be introverted, here's my heart and my soul or my spirit in a bottle, and I'm going to go and ask people for money for this. It seemed, actually very counterintuitive. And, the journey along the way has taught me that when you have a gift, it can actually be like the selling experiment is actually, you're offering someone something in exchange for money that is beneficial, right? Because our vision is all about being a benevolent source for social change in the world. And so it's all about your vantage point and how you shift that in terms of selling and being able to go out there and not just sell a product, thinking about your distribution channels and how you want to sell it, whether to retailers or, on your own website or on Amazon or other stores. And then it goes into so many different distillations or distillates of that, so to speak, thinking about breaking down every single aspect of what you're creating to come up with a really foundational COGS, right? Cost of goods sold, which is, ultimately going to be the lifeblood of your sales experiment.
Right. Oh my gosh. I love that you used aromatherapy terms to describe the experience, like the distillation of your brand. That's I've never heard that before. Only here at Adoratherapy do we get that connection, and it really helps to tell the story of your business. So speaking of sales, Christine is like the expert on content marketing. So she's done a little combing through your website, and we're going to take you on a quick little journey there, if you don't mind, Adora.
Neat. Yeah,
And
that sounds fun.
yeah, just talk a little bit, Christine, so our viewers can see some examples of some really good sales copy from Adora.
This is the funnest part. And I have to say, Adora, and I comb through, oh gosh, I can't even tell you how many tens and hundreds of websites from makers just starting out, and then people that are, have been in business for a while. And I have to say, yours is one of my favorites, because and I'm going to share my screen with you in just a second, because there are certain things, that you have to do in order to, when you're selling a product, when you're selling online. People think I'll just throw up some words and I'll throw up an about page and I'll throw up product descriptions and away it'll go. Kind of like, the old Kevin Costner movie, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
But, that doesn't always happen. So I want to share because I'm so excited. I have chills.
I love it.
I'll try to use my aromatherapy terms here too, but because I'm an aromatherapist as well, and probably around the same time you were, I started. And that's why, I just have such an affinity for what you're doing. All right, so you guys can see my screen, right? I'll get rid of the chat. All right, you guys can see the Adoratherapy screen. So a couple things I just want to show you really quickly is, this is Adoratherapy's, this is Adora's about page. And the one thing about about pages, and I'll go through all this really quickly, just so you guys get a chance to get it, is an about page isn't really about you. I know you've heard it 100 times, but it's really about sharing, not only what you do in your experience with your customers, and it's less about you and more about them. So Adora, when I went on your site, I was like, this is totally about me, because here we go here, all this content that you have right here, as soon as I land on your page, really, it tells me a little bit about you, but how do we boost how we feel in the moment? These are words that your customers are using, and that's what attracts the attention of anybody that lands on your site, because you're really making it about me. So that's why I loved it the minute I landed on it. Plus, you have, I'm going to scroll down here. And again, I want this to be for everybody when you're creating your e-commerce sites to really be aware of. Again, this is an about page, and it is the most visited page on your website. Adora, you talk about boost your mood. You have data and some science here that tells people about what to expect when they come to you. What do they expect about your products, their experience with you? I mean, I get the full-blown, I get the body, mind, spirit. I get the aroma. I can smell what's going on here. So
Fantastic.
That's what I love about all this. And then, yes, you talk about, you and the two of you, but it's this brief little statement, because really what you're showing me is not only that's the two of you, and I love seeing your faces, but you show me what your products are, and you give me a feel, not only visually, but with your content. And remember, your content doesn't have to be long. It can be straight and to the point. I do want to go back to this being, this part here being your value proposition. It doesn't have to be short, and it doesn't have to be a tagline, but boy, do I know who you are when I land on your page. So that's really exciting from a content and a marketing standpoint. But, you just really hit the nail on the head here, because I can find everything I need to in your about page, and it answers the questions of who you are, what do you offer, but most importantly, how you can help me or how you can help your customers, because you're telling a story. The mood boost revolution.
I love that.
Isn't that great? And that, not only are they expertly blended, but, I can tell just from the words that you're using here that you're using the words of your customer. And those are some of the stickiest words that we can use on any content on our webpage, is because it shows that we're really understanding our customers. So, your transformation, you've got your social proof here, because you're showing people, using it. You're telling me about your team, and the people, and the ingredients, and I love that you have some social proof down here, so I can run over to, your social sites and look at you. So to me, I said, this is I'm so excited that this is your about page.
It's
Well, thanks so
awesome.
much, Christine. Like I mentioned the other day, I wish our new site was up. We're just probably about a week or so before launching that. But thank you for your kind words. We really appreciate that.
Well,
our
we
whole
can't
goal
wait
is
to see the new site since
Yes.
the old one is awesome. Can you share with us a little bit about your approach to creating the content and the connection between your brand and your target customer?
Sure. Well, I think that as with anything in business, we always have to approach things from a multidimensional perspective. So it's when I sit down to write copy and think about intuitively what that process is like. Oh, can everyone hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, great. Not sure what happened right there, but intuitively what I want to communicate to our customer. And so writing is done through that way, but then we also take it and share it with the team and make sure that everyone has input and the ability to tweak things to make sure our messaging is concise as possible. And also, the bigger picture of that is at one point a few years ago, we brought someone on from a veteran from P&G who worked in brand innovation. And so together we really worked to excavate our brand architecture and get really clear on our mission, our vision, who our target customer, right, our target demographic is. And because once you do that process to figure out exactly who you want to sell to, it becomes so much easier to communicate to them, right?
Yes.
Because it becomes almost a two-way, even if you're not doing market research per se, or focus groups, you're able to build a two-way intuitive communication process because you know exactly who you want to sell to and what you want to sell.
It's almost Adora, like I almost called you Adoratherapy. It's almost Adora, almost like a dance. And I want to pause on what you said there because we talk about this a lot at the Indie Business Network, how important it is to know what target you are going for even before you create the product. But here's the thing, here's the beautiful thing about this is that you didn't do that.
At all.
Okay, so the message here is hardly any maker does that. Like they just don't start that way because they start off making something, right? And
Sure.
then they learn, wow, they sell it for Christmas or whatever, and then they learn, people will buy this. So it's a process and a journey. But when you started your business all those years ago, you had a longer cycle to do that.
Sure.
The cycle is a lot shorter now. And that's one reason
Yes.
why I'm doing this show, because I don't want people to find out 9 years later that they have to have a target market. I want you to go back and if you even have to undo some things and identify your target market first, what do they need? And then you go back and make that for them.
Exactly.
Instead of
Absolutely.
the other way around.
It's true.
So-
I think I've done that maybe with one of our products. Where I back in the early days of working in corporate America for cable TV, people would come in and when their TV didn't work, they would really have a meltdown and we couldn't burn sage or incense or candles. So I thought I'm going to make a product from essential oils from herbs traditionally used for cleansing and purification. And that just ended up being our, pioneer lead product. But many of the other products that I've made blends, it's because someone has asked me, I want something for this, just on a very personal basis.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if I knew then what I know now about the longevity, right? The endurance of not just of all of your resources, right? Financial, energy, your life force that goes into building something and building a brand. Having a guidebook like what you're creating at the Maker Mastermind would have been so fantastic.
Well, and thank you. And that's exactly what it is. It's like Maker Mastermind is like a 52-step, 52-week program to take you from start to finish. But you know what? I see boxes behind you. Can you zoom out a little bit and show everybody just a smidge of what your
Sure.
work area looks like?
Yeah, so we just moved into a new space in the heart of downtown in Asheville, North Carolina. And Sarah, will you just wave? Sierra takes care of our shipping and customer service.
Hi, Sierra.
Hi. And we just got some new displays in about a week ago. You can probably see those. But this is our manufacturing area. Everyone see? And you can see we're still unpacking. We just moved in last month, and there are many, many boxes. And David very diligently working to produce many, many products because we're quite busy for Mother's Day and picking up some new accounts. So here's some of our inventory waiting to be shipped out today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And lots of bottles, lots of shiny bottles.
Lots of shiny bottles. And, by the way, you guys, you're here. And speaking of inventory, I have some of Adora's inventory right here in my headquarters. I got the Adoratherapy Mood Boost, the Awake, okay? And this is, I am focused, ambitious, and driven.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, and you can see the product photo, the photograph that I posted in the group earlier today is the display at the actual store where I purchased these products. So here's another one, Adoratherapy's Seductive Mood Boost. All right, and this one is, I am vivacious and alluring. I'll save that.
I love that you put those messages on, because those little messages, they're straight and to the point too. Yeah. That they really give like this great little, this is a message for me when I pick up your product. I love that you've done that.
Yes, and I want to go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say part of our goal is really about having everyone know that we are all beautiful, right? We're beautiful on the inside, and when we can really capture that, when we can really embrace that and own that, it just emanates to our outer self. And if Donna Marie, if you slide open the tray on the box, you'll see our slogan. Put it to the side and see how it says "Adore yourself." If you slide it open a little bit more. Okay.
Oh, God.
Great.
Awesome.
So that is our slogan, Adore Yourself, because truthfully, it's about being more loving and compassionate with ourselves as a real gateway for personal growth and transformation. And so we're really looking to make an impact, not just in the wellness sector, but bringing that to the beauty sector where there's such a, not just white space, but a hunger for positive messaging for us as women, but as, beings, whether we're men or women.
Yes, and let me just tell you guys, I'm sorry, Christine, I want everyone to know that they can win this, okay? Let me tell you how to win. And let me tell you about the third one I have first, because I'm giving all three of them away. The third one is the Smart Mood Boost. It's my personal favorite. I am a confident and articulate problem solver. Like, I had to solve that Facebook problem when we went dark this morning. But here's the thing that I want to show you. There's also at the store was a shelf talker. Like, this was positioned right above the products. I think I included it in the image that I took. If I didn't, I'll take another one. This one describes each one of the mood boosts. Okay, so I picked this up and I took it out with me so I could know what I was getting. But let me tell you what really struck me in the store. And I'm not the typical shopper because I did have business in mind when I was looking for these things, and I can't totally divorce myself from that. But here's what I noticed immediately. At the top of the display where all these products were, it very clearly said each one of these messages. I am confident and articulate problem solver. So I didn't have to guess about which product to pick up first.
This is what you're talking about.
Yes. And smell almost became secondary because I knew I feel smart, whatever that is, that's me. I don't care. Unless it totally stinks, I'm buying it. Right. Or, tonight is my hot date with my man. I'm feeling vivacious and alluring. Don't really care what it smells like. That's how I feel. I'm buying it. And you've made that connection. So share a little bit. I mean, I know you did already, but talk a little bit about what your customers are telling you about how that connection is working for them and resulting in sales for you.
Sure. So I want to back up just a little bit before I go into that, because I'd like to talk about, here's the thing, especially for people that are creating an aromatherapy brand, there is a lot of competition out there. So you have to get really, really clear on what your points of differentiation are. And a few years ago when we rebranded, I saw so many different aromatherapy companies, so many varying degrees of quality, of efficacy, people that have an aromatherapy product or a handmade product on their shelf, and maybe they use it once a week or once a month, or maybe it sits there and gathers dust because they don't really understand how to or what the benefit is. Because even in the world of aromatherapy, this is still, in many ways, we're still a pioneering brand. And so that's why we decided to create this whole segmentation around the concept of a mood boost, to really move away from addressing symptomology to address something that anyone and everyone could understand and benefit from, right? So the idea of a mood boost, why is it a mood boost? Well, we know the really powerful connection between scent and the brain that regulates so much of our mood and feeling experience. And when you have the right essential oils and the right formulation, you can literally transform how you feel in the moment. Great. So creating a whole new market segment around that, because the mainstream consumer does not necessarily understand what aromatherapy is, a natural product, because there's companies out there that have something like, even Glade would tout the benefit of being an aromatherapy product, right? And so it's really important to differentiate yourself in the marketplace and streamline your communication. And this for me has been such an interesting journey, because in the beginning I was very superfluous in how I said things and the way that I said them. And what I've come to understand is that by simplifying our message around this mood boost segment, it's become something that anyone can understand and benefit from. An example, our previous designs for the chakra boost packaging had more esoteric messaging and art. And so what we understood a few years ago is not everyone knows what a chakra is, and not everyone cares. So we started to put the key emotion or feeling benefit on each label or each box. And then we understood it became an immediate point of engagement. And so that's one thing that I'll say is, when you want something, especially if you want to sell to retailers, right? Because shelf space is a precious, precious real estate, precious commodity. And so you want to be able to make an impact, not just with your packaging, but the quality of your product and your messaging, to not just ensure initial placement, but to ensure replenishment and reorders. And so for us, one of the, I think, most well-received aspects of the brand is the simplicity in messaging, and that someone can pick up a box and say, okay, I want to feel like this, whether it's awake or peaceful, or they read the affirmation and can identify from that perspective, or they read the top notes. Oh, I love lavender. Oh, or I know that this is natural. And then it becomes very, very simple. So again, going back to that aromatherapy analogy, everything is about distillation. You're distilling not just your product offering, but your messaging and your design, every way that you communicate to your target customer.
And can I just add, one of the things that I find so impressive about what you've done with your brand too, and this is the thing, for all the entrepreneurs out there and the makers out there, is really important to look at what Adora has done with Adoratherapy. And just what you were saying is that you listened to what your customers were saying. You kind of brought in the data and, really kind of, you did your research, and you distilled it down to, hey, what makes this more sellable, rather than just making stuff. What words can I use? And you use the voices of your customers. And
yes.
What kind of turnaround did you see once you started doing that? Obviously, other than flying off the shelf.
Yes. Well, that's always that's a continual desire and intention. We just seemed to receive much more clear feedback. Hey, I really get this. I really understand that. Oh, that makes perfect sense. It's like that aha moment when you're talking to someone and you see a light bulb go on over their head, right? And so, when that's happening versus a blank stare, or, more of a quizzical look, that you know that that on the back end, the sell-through will follow that. Yep. So of course, what have we noticed? We've noticed more sales through a different segmentation, right? So we're sold through, of course, health and wellness, like Whole Foods and soon to be Fairway, up in your area, Christine. And then also, to spas, to boutiques, to yoga, to stores like Francesca's is doing a test. So that's a completely different segment, right? That's more fashion or boutique-y. We're in discussion now with DSW, which would be, again, much more mainstream.
The shoe warehouse?
Wow.
DSW what? Shoe warehouse?
Yeah.
Okay, my goodness. And then people will be spraying it in their shoes. Can I just say something that's so amazing that I just distilled from what you said? And I want everyone who's watching to hear this. Dovetailing on what she said, the more narrow and focused she became, not trying to have this aromatherapy product. No, the more narrow and focused she became, I think there's 7 of these in the line, not 50. The more narrow and focused she became, the more she honed her brand, the more customers she got. Okay, yeah, I want everyone to repeat that, write it in lipstick on your mirror, because that is how it works. And we have a question from Brandy Sandstrom. Hi, Brandy. Thanks for your question. And by the way, you guys can post your questions below. And if you want to win some of this deliciousness, okay, you can tag a friend and share this video. Okay, so they can get in on the action too. If you have a maker friend, share this video. And if you do that, we will enter you into a chance to win one of these 3 awesome chakra boosts from Adoratherapy. Brandy, your question. How did you know that was your niche? And did you have any moments where you thought this might not be for you?
I'm going to answer the latter part of that question first. And as in, yes, there have been many. There have been many moments that, because being an entrepreneur is a journey, and it's about being stretched in pretty much every facet of your existence that you are either aware of or not aware of. Yeah. And I say that because that's, I've really lived that. And so there's been many moments where I've been on my knees and in tears and have thought, you know what, this is the end. I can't find another dollar, or I don't have another just ounce of energy to move forward. And, I've always asked for a sign, because this, for me, this is part of my journey of service, right? My life purpose. And so there's because of my spiritual practice, a strong element of faith. And so I would always ask, okay, show me. If you want me to keep doing this, show me the way or give me a sign. And there was always a sign along the way. So yes to that. Yes. And then the first part of your question, what was the first part, Donna Maria?
The first part is, well, first of all, let me thank you for saying that, because we can feel so alone. And I say we. Because sometimes I do wake up in the morning going, do I really have to do this today? Yes. I love what I do, but still every day is different. So thank you for saying that, so we don't all feel like it's just us. The first part of the question was, how do you know that this was your niche? I guess it's aromatherapy and chakras. How did you know that was your niche?
Well, I think that comes back to when I first started speaking, that I think everyone, okay, so you have a calling to be an entrepreneur. So the next question you want to really excavate and hone in on is, what is your gift, right? What is your gift? What do you want to share? And then how do you want to do it? And so I knew for me, at that time, I didn't necessarily think it was a gift, but I knew it was a passion. I had a passion for aromatherapy, and I had a passion for vibrational healing. And I said, you know what? I want to do something where I combine both of those into a product that can create a tangible, transformational experience for everyone and anyone that wanted to use it. And so once that became clear to me about 20 years ago, I just knew that was my niche. And so I think it's really about that soul search, so to speak, to ascertain what gift you have that you want to bring into the world. And that becomes the niche, that becomes your offering, that becomes what you want to share and ultimately become profitable in sharing.
Thank you so much for that. And I want to share with you guys, when I'm looking down, it's because I'm not only the host, but I'm also the producer. So I need to be reading the text from my assistant and also making sure that we look the way that we're supposed to look. So just a little encouragement for all of you who are thinking about, oh my gosh, how can I go live on Facebook? You can do it. And I want to encourage you that it won't be perfect, just like I'm not, but it sure is a lot of fun.
It is.
And I'm connecting with my target audience, and I want you to do it so you can connect with yours. We'll do another show on that. But Christine, did you have a follow-up question too?
Well, just the other thing that you know, we all have a passion, and this is again what moved, what I like about what you're saying, Adora, too, and for everybody, is that not only did you have a passion and a gift, but you saw the benefit for everyone else that you could make a product for. And that's one of the key things, is having, you know, sure, we can all have this wonderful passion of ours, but how are we going to translate it into a sellable product that is a benefit for other people, not just because we want to make it? And so that is a real signal for switching from making to marketing to selling, you know, so to go from, you know, making a product to, you know, making money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is, you know, and that sometimes I think
you want it to be a leap, not a chasm in between the two.
Well, exactly. And you probably didn't even I mean, you saw it, but you maybe, you know, didn't go, oh, hey, gee, boy, this is an aha moment. For entrepreneurs, it kind of happens that way, that when you really hit that transitional point, all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, I mean, it's like, okay, you know, I do have something of worth here for other people. And so I love that you had that transition and that it became so clear.
Great question, Brandy. Thank you so much for that. Go ahead.
I think that's really, really profound. I also think it's important, and I know this because this is something that I always need to reflect and take practice in doing, that as entrepreneurs, we always tend to look at what's next. What do I have to do next? Because the to-do list, whether it's big picture, little picture, anywhere in between, is vast, right? And never ending. But to take those moments and celebrate your victories, whether they're small or grandiose, and to have that moment or moments of reflection and gratitude, because those really help to get us through those darker nights of the soul, so to speak, as entrepreneurs. And you know, and there's been so many times, like, you know, even in the past month where we won a few packaging design awards and we're up as a finalist for this award and appeared in a magazine. For me, I tend to like, okay, I see it and then it just goes away because I'm on to the next thing. Yeah. But, you know, it's one of those parts of having balance within who we are as individuals, men or women, and as entrepreneurs, because our life is holistic. And when we can take that time to actually have that sense of gratitude and acknowledge ourselves, it makes it so much easier to have gratitude and acknowledge everything around us, because it, you know, your entrepreneurial world can so often take so much of your life space.
It can. And thank you so much for sharing that. Adore yourself in the process of building your business. Yes. And we have a question from Kayla Fioravanti. I'm reading it right here. Adora, she says, you seem so comfortable online doing this video. Have you harnessed the power of video in your business? And if so, how?
You know what, we haven't, I like, you know, this is really simple. It's fun. And I don't mind video. We just started like doing webinars for our training for both of our packaging segments, which is really neat. And we've done some videos, but I know it's something that we need to continue to make time for and do. And here's the thing that I think is so important. It's like, you have to be able to laugh at yourself, not take yourself too seriously, and just do it, because it seems like, you know, it seems huge, but once you do it, it's just fun.
It is fun, and I will say it is also huge. And I will tell you guys, it won't be smooth the first time you do it. I want to encourage you on that. I don't know if you guys were here at the very beginning when Facebook sent me a message saying, your video is going to Canada, so we cut it off. Like, what? I had a whole thing planned, and so now I'm sweating. Like, you know, and so I just want to encourage you. What Adora said is, you know, it doesn't have to be this big, huge thing. It can be fun. And I think if you know who you're talking to, it turns out to be fun. Because Adora, what things do you like talking about more than the 7 chakras and how to lift your mood? I mean, that's what you love to talk. Could you like talk about it all day, right?
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you create that kind of rapport with the people who are buying your products, if it's the retail store, then the retail store owner or the buyer, so they understand how to create that rapport with the customer when they walk in the store, or whether it's online, so much fun, then you can do that. Adora, I want to ask you another question, because you've been in business for a long time and you have seen lots of businesses grow in different sorts of genres. Like some people sell online only, some people do wholesale, some people do both, some people do only shows. So if you could talk a little bit about the options that we have and how the beautiful thing, or do you agree that one of the most beautiful things about entrepreneurship today is that you get to define how your life looks and your business can be based on that. So you don't have to do video if that doesn't fit into your lifestyle for whatever reason. You don't have to be in a retail store. You don't have to have, this glorious, huge website. Can you talk a little bit about the options that we have today and how we can really build a business around what we want in our life?
Sure. I think that's really great. So, the first step is acknowledging that you have a completely blank canvas, right? That you can put anything on it that you want. And once you have a product, you're going to want to ask yourself, well, where do I want to sell it? Do I want to sell it on my site, or do I want to sell it on Amazon, or both, or other online sites? Because of course, with your own site, you get the most margin of your product, right? You get the most money back for what you make, which is a really, really beautiful thing. And of course, Amazon, if it's mastered, can be a real great income producer. Wholesale is interesting, right? Because you have wholesale opportunity from a few different facets. You have it through the natural or wellness sector, right? For people that sell to Whole Foods or stores like that. And there's tremendous cost of doing business with a company like Whole Foods, from free fill for every store to product demos to giveaways and the whole 9 yards. Most of the stores in the wellness channel are like that, especially because they know the big players ask for it. Even smaller accounts will ask for those same benefits. So those really cut into your margin. But also, if you have a natural product, it can be a great way for exposure. And if you get the volume right, you can look to hit a good profit margin if your profit margin is built into your cost the right way. And so that's something that always takes finessing and, going back to and determining if you have all of your costs built into your cost structure. And then you have the opportunity, you can sell a product to more of the gift market. Right. So for us, we have reps. We have almost probably 80 reps now on the ground in varying channels. So we have reps in the wellness sector, and then we also have reps in the gift sector. And so typically with your gift accounts, unless it's a huge key account, those accounts aren't going to demand as much in terms of discounting. Right. So again, you'll get more of your profit back. And then, of course, there's a whole other realm of selling into the beauty channel. The beauty channel is going to require probably a little bit more margin that you'll have to give up than you would even for wellness, just because of their expectation and the way the beauty channel is set. It's based more of distributors. Then, of course, you have trade shows, which are great, but they're very, very pricey. And, you have everything from doing a local craft show to a trade show in terms of maybe a holistic trade show or a gift show, to some of the larger shows like New York Now or Expo East or Expo West. And then there are even shows that you can do that cost, anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 that target just like the big box retailers. So trade shows are a huge investment, because once you get in for the booth cost, it's usually at least double that between your travel and sending your displays and all of your print material. And then, of course, the other opportunity is to be able to sell overseas, which you're going to sell higher volume, but again, you're going to have to give up more of your profit margin to be able to sell that way. And then there's lots of fun things like custom forms and free sales certificates, but also, another way that you can get more exposure and increase your sales. Does that answer your question, Donna Maria?
It absolutely does. I mean, I think you listed everything. The only thing I think I didn't hear was subscription boxes. I think you listed everything outlet I can think of, and there are probably lots more. Christine, you had a question.
I do. Well, just, as we prepare to close out this premiere show that we've got, what top words of encouragement do you have for other makers?
Okay, it's great question. So I would say this. I would say really work to achieve as best as possible a work-life balance. Have faith in yourself, right? And be able to ask for help, be able to share with people that are in your community, like this great community that we have here, and also support each other. And, I was mentioning this the other day, that particularly as women, we're really brought up, especially our older generations like myself, to look at women from more of a competitive perspective. But the truth is, as women, we really heal and grow through community and through sharing. And it's important to remember that for the new paradigm of business, it's really about coming together in community and learning how to not just elevate ourselves, but to elevate each other. Because the more that we do that, the more that we can shift the whole paradigm of, this planet and all of humanity.
Wow, those are really great words of wisdom. Thanks, Adora. Love that.
That really was the perfect way to close out today. Okay, so everyone, again, your last chance to share and comment and win some Adoratherapy mood boosts. We have Seductive for the woman who's feeling vivacious and alluring. We have Awake for the woman who is focused, ambitious, and driven. And we have Smart from the confident and articulate problem-solving entrepreneur. I love it. So if you share, we will enter you to win one of these three. And you got to share now, though. Like if you share tomorrow, doesn't count because they're going to be gone by then. So you got to share now. We're going to randomly choose people within an hour of the show. So share within an hour. You can share after that too, but you just won't be entered to win. But please do feel free to share the video, and then we'll post later today who wins the prizes. So I want you all to go to adoratherapy.com and shop. And, find your personality, find your mood, find which personality choice you are, or a friend, get some for a friend, and let Adora feel like the karma here for coming with us today and sharing so much of her wisdom and her experience. Thank you so much for doing that, Adora. It's been great to have you.
My pleasure, Donna Maria and Christina. Christine, it's been really a pleasure for me.
Thanks so much, Adora.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So listen, guys, you can visit me in Boston in June. Okay, June at the Maker Mastermind event. If you go to makermastermindlive.com, you can join us there. We have 2 whole days of training. We're going to go through the whole 52 weeks. We're going to condense it for you so you can go from start your business to expand your business. And those are the phases. This is like a signature training. The first phase is emerge. Right? You're emerging from a cocoon or some idea or some hobby. The second phase is engage, right? You got to start talking to people. You got to start, loose lip, closed mouths don't get fed. So you got to start talking up your stuff, right? The third is expand, like you kind of feel like you have a little ground underneath you, then you can start trying to, peep out a little bit beyond the original borders that you set for yourself. And then fourth, you're going to, what did I say? The third one is not expand, it's evolve, right? Evolve, you're evolving. And then you're going to expand your brand. So think about those things. We're going to go to Renegade Craft show while we're there, and we're going to do some hot seat coaching at the mastermind, and you can register at makermastermindlive.com. So I want to make sure that you do that. We have an early bird that expires at the end of May. Can't believe it's May. Can you believe it's May? The early bird expires at the end of May. So next week, we have Stephanie Greenberg from Bubble and Be Organic in Utah. And she's going to be here. You can go to bubbleandbeorganic.com and check it out. In the meantime, she's going to come and share her journey and help you go from making stuff to making money, so you can actually do both and create the things that you love to create and also make money doing it. Christine, any closing thoughts?
Just, you guys, Maker Mastermind, this is a way for you to help really take your passion, as Adora said, and really just expand it, grow it, and really get your beautiful passion out into the world, because there's people that want what you have, and this is the way to do it.
Yes. So next week, right here, May the 8th, 12 o'clock noon, 12 p.m. Eastern, we'll be here with Stephanie at Bubble and Be Organic. We're going to go now because we have a training for our Indie Business Network members that starts in 5 minutes. So if you're a member, I'll see you there in a second. Thanks for joining us, everyone, on our first Maker Mastermind show. Bye-bye.
Bye.